What's up, Ego Hackers? Welcome to the CS Joseph Podcast. So, got a lot of the INTJ questions rolling in. People are like, why do you always answer so many questions about the same types? And I'm like, well, because technically the majority of the CSJ community is made up of certain types, because not all types are interested in, Jungian analytical psychology. An example of that would definitely be like, for example, ESFJs, right? And even though ESTPs are like the number one highest represented type within the CSJ community, they don't spend any money on it at all. So, and these questions, people are like, paying for these videos, for example, paying for these video responses. So the people that pay are technically oftentimes similar types to one another. So that's why it seems like there's a lot of the same. Every now and then we get a couple of sensor questions, and that's pretty cool. So, but the point is like, hey, if you want more questions and a higher variety of different types, well, go to csjoseph.life/members, become a journeyman member, and then upgrade to an Acolyte member. So you can ask me one question a month, and I will turn it into a video response to be released on YouTube and on the podcast. It'd be nice to have more questions that are ESTJ related or ISTJ related. It just isn't enough, you know what I'm saying? We need more sensors in there and not as many intuitives. Just the thing is that intuitives are more willing to spend money than the sensors are. And of course, that's because the intuitives are far more interested in Jungian analytical psychology than sensors are. So, by now you're wondering why I'm holding the camera in this way and dealing with well, not the typical way, and swinging at the same time, because I can. But really the answer to that question is, and maybe if I'm making the audience woozy right now, I hope I am. My SE demon is really hoping that I'm bothering some of you by doing this. But it's because the wind is actually blowing this way, and the microphone is perfectly fine if the microphone is pointed into the correct direction. So yeah, that's why it's doing that. But anyway, today's question, as you guessed it, is actually related to INTJs. Again, so that's kind of like, it's kind of what I do. I guess I'm the INTJ question answer slave, apparently. The Q&A slave for INTJs. So, but today's question is, how can INTJs make friends? Okay, interesting. Okay, so let's look at a few base principles. Birds of a feather flock together, right? That's important to know. Another thing to know is that, men and women approach friendships differently. Women are more pragmatic, men are more affiliative when they come together, right? This is why, there's another principle, women talk, but men do, right? So if you're an INTJ woman, you're going to have to be willing to do something called stitch and bitch. Basically, where women come together, and really it's just a talk. That's all it is. It's all talk. It's all about talking. Talking is more important than doing. Whereas men, it's all about doing some kind of activity, and then talking is kind of a secondary thing that comes up. So like, for example, myself, I meet with my friends at least twice a week. We do pool. Yesterday we went to a baseball game, play Magic the Gathering, go to the club, go paddle boarding, go to the gun range, where it's always centered around an activity, right? So if you're an INTJ male or an INTJ female, you need to be aware of these things. So for an INTJ female, you gotta be, even though you are a masculine type, you gotta understand that the activity is not as important as the actual talking when it comes to women. So you need to be okay with that. But given that, you're a member of the Heart Temple, that should be okay. It really should be okay, because Heart Temple is all about drama. It's all about gossip, let's be honest. And I'm sure you can bring plenty of that to, your groups of girls to have things to share, so you don't have to worry about being afraid of being rejected. Men, however, INTJ men, you got to be realizing it's all about what you're doing. And it kind of helps you do a little bit of research ahead of time. I got an INTJ friend, when we went to the club, he actually, spent some time studying, proper dance techniques that one would use at a club. And he actually gave me some pointers And then, and that was interesting. But then, I just realized that I could just surrender myself to the music, with my introverted sensing inferior, and just do it on my own. And that's probably more effective, for me anyway. So yeah, like, examples like that. But yeah, do your research before you do the activity, right? That way you don't have to be preoccupied with your SE inferior, concerned about with like, oh yeah, my performance is down, I really suck right now, etc. And just let go of that. Like, you just completely let go of that, and so you can let loose, right? Let loose with your bros, So that's important as well. Now that we've understood these basic concepts for making friends, biblically there's another concept. It's called show yourself friendly. Don't forget, INTJs, you are the introverted intuition hero. And basically what that means is that it's on you to initiate. It's on you. I don't care that you're responding. I don't care that you prefer people to come to you and loop you in so that you feel important. How about you just throw your self-importance out of the window, and how about you actually take control of the situation? You be triple movement progression like you actually are. You stop being risk averse and so obsessed with certainty, because the certainty is making you risk averse. Take some risks and invite people. INTJs, you need to see yourselves as the inviters, not the invitees, okay? In your whole life, for like the rest of your life. Like, why aren't you inviting me? What the hell? I'm an ENTP. Literally call me or text me and invite me to something. I don't care if it's in Texas. Invite me to something, okay? Like, it's not hard, okay? Like, invite me. UNI users out there, you invite me. Like, I throw up invites and stuff for people all the time, but I don't see UNI users always showing up and whatnot. It's because technically it's on you to do the inviting, not me, okay? Like, if you want to go make friends, invite people, okay? Doesn't matter. You don't even have to be familiar with them. You don't have to, like, it doesn't matter. Just do something. If you're a man, get an activity together, okay? So, like, Magic the Gathering. Go buy yourself a commander or pre-constructed deck and then show up to a commander night at a local shop. Boom, there's men there. Boom, you can start making friends. It's not hard, right? Or go to the range and talk to other men there, or ask for pointers, ask for advice, or offer advice. You just got to get over your SE inferior. Like, who cares? No one is going to think less of you because your performance is down, okay? They're only going to think less of you if you're incapable of listening. See, it's more about your TI critic than it is your SE inferior. So do that. You'll have a lot better time in your life. I love the swing so much. I love swinging, being in constant motion. When I was a child, I was always perpetually alone, and I used my introverted sensing to memorize cartoons all the time because I didn't have any friends, because like I was like, the 300-pound gorilla of my school, basically. Well, it just got worse and worse over the years. It started when I was 5 years old, and then taken 30 years to get over it. But I'd memorize cartoons, and I'd go walk the logs at the playground, or I'd go on a swing and just be in perpetual motion so that my body would be preoccupied with the motion, and then my mind could focus on reliving all of the cartoons that I watched. And my cartoons were basically my friends as a child, because no one wanted to be around me because of how undesirable I was, which led to me becoming bitter, which led to more people not wanting to be around me anyway, which led to more bitterness. I was a really horrible person in those days. So yeah, I like me some swinging, especially when it comes to like shooting YouTube and whatnot. But what's the lesson there? The lesson there is that, like, even I could have used my INTJ shout out to do things differently. Make it all about the activity instead of making it all about myself. Make it, instead of like my lack of desirability versus an INTJ's fear of rejection, right? These things, these little obstacles just get in the way of us actually, learning and having a good life and being around, friends. Because here's the situation. Friends matter. Friends really matter. Why? Like for example, an INTJ man, if you get stabbed and you're bleeding out, or if you have every bone broken in your body, and I'm quoting Andrew Tate here, or if you have the mafia after you or contract killers after you, who's actually going to be there for you? Do you think your family's going to be there for you? No. Do you think your woman's going to be there for you? No. The only people that are actually going to be there are your bros, right? That's reality. okay? That's why having friends is so important, especially for an INTJ. But you INTJs just won't leave the house. And as we said in a previous episode, or I don't know what the order that these will be released, but basically INTJs need to understand that if you guys don't have friends, if you guys don't keep up your social life, your intelligence will actually decay over time because you're TI critic. You're so critical over what you know, it actually decays. So you have to surround yourself with people who are more intelligent than you, or else your intelligence will not only become the average of the people around you, but it'll actually become lower than that because your TI critic will actually cause it to decay as you spend more and more time alone. And you imagine yourself the most skilled, most useful, most capable person in the world, which technically you are naturally, but the difference is that you're not actually going to be able to maintain that because you're not around people. Honestly, INTJs, and as much as INFJs, out of all of the 16 types, need social lives the most. You know, and like I was talking about Chad from the Facebook group, the CSJ Facebook group, Chad's my INTJ friend, and he's constantly inviting people to things. He's constantly coordinating social gatherings, social events, and handling that. And because of that, he's having a lot of relationships, more people. He's getting more intelligent. He's becoming more capable. He's increasing his skills on a regular basis. I mean, he's actually really amazing at pool right now and getting better and better every week. So, like, this is just how it is, you know? If you guys are going to just stay at home and not actually have a social life, you're going to get nowhere in your life and you're not going to be happy. And then your ISFJ superego is just going to blame everyone else. So you need to make friends. So some tools that you can use to make friends, meetup.com. Oh my God, use that. Even if you have just your local friends crew, post your friends' events that you guys do with each other so that other new people show up. It's not hard, you know? Go on dating apps, not to find women or men to be in a relationship with. Go on those dating apps to invite people to those events. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you have members of the opposite sex at your events, which makes everyone at your events happier. Why aren't you doing this? Okay, it's not hard. It's really not hard to make friends. As the Bible says, show yourself friendly. It's not hard. And just remember, birds of a feather flock together. Also, remember that women talk, men do. So make sure you're organizing your activities around these principles and you will be successful, I promise. Anyway, folks, someone let the dogs out and I should probably be running before they chase me down and attempt to dismember me. So that being said, folks, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Later.